I wouldn't say a great deal. I have to say I probably came into this with a fairly naive view of what it was all about. Although I did do some research before I interviewed to join the company. But I think I hadn't realised quite how detailed my understanding needed to be of how the legal process works, and that's something I've certainly developed my knowledge of. And in fact, I did A-level law many moons ago, and I found that I've drawn on my knowledge from that, albeit fairly sketchy knowledge from such a long time ago, but I do draw on that, and I understand things like I understood the burden of proof, which is that in criminal cases you have to prove something beyond all reasonable doubt, but in a civil claim it's about the balance of probabilities. And that's a really important thing to understand as an expert, because we're not here to look at that extreme burden of proof that's seen in criminal cases. We're here to determine that on balance, what is the reasonable answer to the question at hand. And if that's about liability, is it more likely than not that this outcome would have happened anyway or wouldn't have happened anyway. So some of that base knowledge I've drawn on quite a lot, but what I would say is that within the company, something which I now oversee, we have a really comprehensive training program which ensures that our new associates learn about this field of law, what law is generally, what civil law is, and what that means for you as an expert and what you need to understand. So I would say people coming into the industry don't necessarily need to be conversant with how civil claims are run in the English and Welsh courts. But it's always useful to have an understanding of what it's all about, what the arena is all about, and that people have a right to make claims when something's gone wrong. But I think coming in as an occupational therapist, the important thing is that you've got a really good foundation of clinical skills, because they will be challenged along the way and you will be asked to justify your recommendations by many different people, and you'll need to be able to do that in an articulate fashion, both in writing and verbally, and be able to hold your ground when you feel certain that your opinion is correct, but also know when it's right to review new information, new evidence that becomes available, and revise your opinion in light of that.